At another restaurant, there was an anti-Semitic incident. And we were sitting there having dinner. And behind me, there was a group of probably 25-year-old Germans and a couple of Brits who were all sitting together. Because there were Germans and Brits, at some points they would speak German, but then it became very clear that the Germans, as is common, spoke very, very good English. And I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden, the switch happens from German to English. And this kid starts talking about Americans, and he starts kind of ridiculing Americans and making fun of Americans, which is perfectly fine. I don't care. Ridicule Americans, and that's fine. I don't really care about that. And then he starts doing an impersonation of an American, and he says, making fun of two things basically: baseball and Jews. And the guy says something like, yeah, you should hear my buddy, I forget what his name was, from the US. He's always like, yeah, why don't we go play some baseball, man? It's the most fun I've had since the last bar mitzvah I went to. Ahoy! And just kind of one of those stereotypical Hebrew Yiddish-like sounds that are often associated with Jews. At this point, I kind of perk up and I start to look around and wonder, what on earth is going on? And then the conversation continues, and all of a sudden the conversation turns to discussing American cartoons, specifically Family Guy and South Park. Now, as you know, Lewis, Family Guy and South Park are not produced by the same individuals. Family Guy is Seth MacFarlane's, who, by the way, is not Jewish. And South Park is it Matt and Trey?
Yeah.
Matt and Trey, who I don't think they're Jewish. Maybe they are. I don't really know. In any case, this guy starts saying, the thing about Family Guy and South Park is they're both produced by the same kikes. They're both produced by the same kikes. And at this point, I turn around and I'm just looking at them, and everybody at my table is obviously looking at them. And I think they start to realize that maybe there's actually someone who's Jewish around you. And shortly after, they paid their bill and left, and that was kind of the end of it. Would you have made a confrontation in a foreign country like that, Lewis?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I would have sized them up first if they were all huge dudes who looked like they were ready to throw down. Maybe not, but
they were quite large.
Well, I don't know. I'd have to feel it out. In that case, maybe not, but I might correct them and say, actually, you know what? Nobody who produces any of those shows is Jewish. I'm American and I watch them all the time, but who knows?
Or I could have said, not only are the producers of those shows not the same, they're not even kikes.
Right. Yeah. Or just maybe pretend to be a raging anti-Semite too.
Right.
And when the conversation's over and we're all great friends, say, oh, by the way, I'm Jewish.
Right. Yeah. It was somewhat disturbing, and that's the story. How would you have reacted? Have you ever had these situations? I've told stories of having some of these other situations on the show. A lot of them on the bonus show, and it's never. I'm just sadly never ever surprised when this happens. It's just not surprising in the least.